Hey, good morning, guys. Keith KL Belvin here. Pray everything is well with you. And wanted to jump on this morning, just coming off of being in Clubhouse, and I try to keep my Clubhouse discipline. Get in, be on where I need to be on, and then get off. So first and foremost, I want to say Happy Father's Day weekend to all the fathers that are out there. And this is actually for you. Sisters, mothers, this is for you as well. And I want you to rock out with me, and I want you to listen, because I may not be able to get on Father's Day, and I don't know, I got a lot of running around to do tomorrow. So I wanted to get this message out early. And I just got off an incredible Clubhouse session where people were explaining, telling the different stories about their fathers. And, you know, it made me want to make sure I share, because you guys know I'm a crisis specialist, right? And as a crisis specialist, I deal with people who are in pain. It's actually one of my hashtags where I say, bring me your pain. But my other hashtag is we can fix this. And I believe that. So let me say this. In our lives, our first trauma will probably come from those that love us, or those that we love, our parents. Our first trauma. So I want to say that our first trauma, and in often cases our first crisis, will come from our parents. Things that they did, things that they didn't do, things that they allowed to happen, whatever. And that will shape a lot of what we do, how we think, how we feel. So with that said, I want to say to the fathers. Now, let me be completely transparent. So let me tell you a little bit about me, fathers. I want you to listen, because I want you to understand where I'm coming from. Because nothing that I say comes from a position of judgment. It comes from a position of wanting to help. So let me share this. I, Keith Belvin, Keith KL Belvin, by the way. I am the father of 7 children, 6 different women. Yeah, I said it. 7 children, 6 different women. I am 54 years old. Now, I want you to marinate in that for a second. I want you to go ahead, roast me. I want you to go ahead and judge me. I want you to do all those things. Get it out the way. Get it out the way. It's okay. Get it out the way. Nasty, yes. All of that. Give me all of that. I want all of that smoke for the next 30 seconds. And in that 30 seconds while I'm letting you roast me, right? Here's what I want you to do. I want you to like this. I want you to share this. And I want you to tag 3 fathers that you think need to hear what I'm about to say, even though you don't know what I'm about to say, and 3 mothers that need to hear from a real dude. 3 fathers who you think need to hear this, and 3 mothers who need to hear from a real dude. Okay? Y'all finish marinating and roasting me and all that? Okay. So before you toss me out on the grill, I'm 54 years old and I have 7 children with 6 different women. I have been married for going on 14 years, and I've been with my wife going on 21 years. Okay, here we go. You ready? In the last 21 years, I've been with 1 woman and had 1 child. Now, I say that to you to say this. I don't want you to be impressed. It's not impressive. What I'm trying to explain to you is your life can change. Your life can become something different. For 37 years, I was out of control. I was out here just doing whatever. And if you've seen any of my videos, I have told you before, panties was my God. Coochie was what I prayed to. And anything that a man treasures, he keeps close to his heart. Anything that a man keeps close to his heart, he treasures, however you want to look at it. So when you're out in these streets doing whatever, and you cannot have a God as coochie and God as panties, and you not create children when you go out here and have sex. Now, let me get to the fathers. Listen to me. And the reason why I wanted you to know that, I went from being a gigolo to loving Jesus. I even wrote a book about it, From Gigolo to Jesus. And the reason why I wrote my book, From Gigolo to Jesus, was because I wanted people to understand what that transformation in me looked like. Because often the damage that we do, many of us don't go and address. Well, now, fathers, listen to me. Once you change, you owe it to your children to say, I'm sorry. Now, that doesn't mean that they're going to accept your apology, but you owe them at least the I'm sorry, and then you owe them when they're ready. Don't force this. When they're ready, an explanation. And you have to leave it in their hands. Now, if you see from the title of the live, it says, don't be Superman, just be dad. A lot of men make the mistake in attempting to be Superman. They want to be these incredible, they want to be edified to the highest level. They want to put the cape on. They want to be all the things that they believe a dad should be. Well, and I wrote a poem about it in my first book called The Man in Transition. I used to be a poet, guys. I still am a poet. And I've said this and I'll say it before. You, as the father, don't get to choose to be Superman. You simply just have to do. And in doing, your children, your baby mama, your wife, your girlfriend, whoever, will raise you to superhero status. It's not you. Just do the work. The people around you that you are affecting, that you are loving on, will raise you to the level of superhero. Don't try to be it. It'll not come off genuine and you will push people away. Now, let's get back to the transformation. Fathers, listen to me. Own your mistakes. Own the trash that you put out there in the world. Own the fact that you did not know how to be a father. Own that. Thank you, Simone. Appreciate you. Own it. The truth, when the Bible says the truth will set you free, right? When you don't have to figure out a lie, you don't have to think and you don't have to, oh, am I telling it? No, just tell the truth. Because once you've done the damage, you may not be able to fix it, but you can be the release. Now, let me say this. Now, please pay attention. You may be the release of the pain for your children. So when somebody else tries to help them, they are open to get that help. Now, you could be the fix. You might. You could be that plug. But if you're not going to be willing to look your children in the face and tell them that you failed as a father, you made mistakes as a father, you didn't know what to do as a father. And this is, we're talking about fathers who have been wayward. You fathers that are doing your thing, keep doing it. You fathers that are standing 10 feet, 10 toes down in your homes for your children, keep doing it. Because you are the examples that men like who I used to be have to know exist. But this is not for you today. Because you fathers, listen, happy Father's Day to you guys making it happen. I love you. God bless you. I do. Because we need you. And we need to big you guys up. But I'm talking to the brothers who didn't know how to be fathers or don't know how to be fathers. To the brothers that this weekend, they want things when they haven't given anything. To the fathers that have basically just started whole new families and acted like they didn't even go make the previous children. That happens too, believe it or not. Men will just, like clothes, throw the kids in the family that they used to have away and then just start a whole new family and act like the other thing didn't exist. And that collateral damages the children. And so I need the fathers who are not sure. And now here's the thing that I do understand. I counsel mostly women and couples, right? But I do counsel some men. And here's the reason, and here's what I found the reason why a lot of men don't come to counseling, right? And it's okay. They don't want the microscope on them. They don't feel comfortable talking to another man about the mistakes they made because they don't want the shame. Check this out. You need that shame. You need all of that smoke. You need it all. And the reason why is because that shame is what moves you into position to allow yourself to humble yourself and stand before your children and go, I effed up. Yeah, I effed up. And if you want to check it out, if you go to my YouTube page, look up KL the Writer or Keith KL Belvin. On my YouTube page, I have a series of videos. For a whole week, I interviewed all my children. 6 of the 7. One doesn't want to have anything to do with me. That's my fault, but that's her mother's fault too. She doesn't even want to acknowledge that I'm a father. And I understand it. And I pray for her and I don't blame her, but the door is always open for her and the light is on. But her mother doesn't want to come clean with the things that we used to do because then she would have to own a lie that she had been telling to her ex-husband. I've owned mine. I've owned all of my dirt. But if at any time that daughter comes to me and she's ready to talk, I drop what I'm doing and I'm ready. Now, let me say this also, fathers, and please hear me on this. You will not get absolution. You may get closure and your children may be able to go on to do some things, but you will not get absolution because the damage that you may have done to your children may not be forgettable. It's actually never going to be forgettable. It can be repairable, but it may not come from you. And I don't fault my children who don't want to talk to me. Now, they speak to me, yes. When I say talk to me, I mean we sit down and have that father-daughter, father-son conversation. It's not there. That's my fault. And then when they get older, the pain of which you cause shapes things that they do in their lives. And they've gotten so used to not being with you that even when things are repairable or have been repaired, because their life is not used to you being there, they may not know how to pivot. And you got to accept that. Just because y'all repaired things, it's like Esau and Jacob. They repaired things, but then they went their separate ways. And if you guys don't know the story of Esau and Jacob in the Bible, you got to pick up a Bible and read. Jacob stole from his brother Esau out the womb, beat him out the womb, pushed him back, then stole his birthright. And for 20 years, had been running around thinking his brother was going to kill him. And when he finally had to come face to face with his brother, he knew he was going to get murdered. And Esau was like, man, I done forgave you. We good. But then Esau went his way and Jacob went his. So fathers, listen to me. This weekend is actually a good weekend if you want to start the repair. It's not the weekend to fix it because that won't happen. I'm telling you as a counselor, that won't happen. The repair takes time. The repair takes professional assistance. I provide that. That's why I'm a crisis specialist. I am a legitimate counselor. I have degrees in this. I actually have a master's degree in human service counseling, and that is what my business does. Churches, listen to me. And you guys know I'm trying to create mental health ministries because I believe one of the first places that we could start to heal this trauma is in the church, because we get our first taste of crisis and trauma in the home. And for many of us, faith was pushed upon us as children. We don't have that choice. But if the churches would provide the mental health assistance, some of these damaged children, adults, could be worked on early from a platform of the church in a professional way. That's one of the things that I bring and I help churches create, if they'll listen to me. Sometimes the pastors be holding the door closed, but that's okay. I'm working on that. That's another story. But fathers, listen to me. Yes, this weekend should be about you if you deserve it. You don't get it just because it's Father's Day weekend. Because if you have not been a father, and you are only a father in action in terms of you laid down and made a baby. So if you're only a father in name only, this weekend is just to acknowledge that you exist. But what I would like you to do is to understand is you can change that. You can change the direction of the relationships with the baby's mother, with your ex-wife, and with your children. But are you ready to change the direction in your life? You heard me say at the beginning of this, I have 7 children with 6 different women. But you also heard me say in the last 20 years, that has not been my focus, and I've changed. Did I leave some blood on the table? Yep. I paid, and I'm paying a big price. I'm not going to go into how much I've lost, but I've lost. And that doesn't mean before I close my eyes, I won't get to fix it. I'm praying that the Lord will continue to work on the hearts of my children and as we move forward. Because I'll give you a little bit about my loss because I want to drive this home. And again, like this, share this. Tag 3 men that you know need to hear this. Tag 3 women that you know need to speak or listen to a real brother. Because my goal is to save lives. I'm a crisis specialist for a reason. And one of the reasons why I'm good at what I do is because I don't get caught up in the minutia of what I'm talking about. I know how to stay even keel. I know how to hold you accountable without it becoming demonstrative and we start struggling. I don't need to struggle with you. I'll open up the door and let you go. Because for this to work, you got to come to the table and want my assistance. So please listen. I'll give you a little bit about what I've lost. Because I want to make sure you understand what you're risking by not opening that door to repair. Okay. I didn't know that my father was basically me. So when I got connected with my father at 39, I came back to the Lord at 37. When I came to meet my father at 39, and he started to tell his story, and I told mine, we were telling the same story. My father liked full-figured women. He had 6 children. I had 6 children, and everything just started to line up the same way. And I was like, wow, but okay, let me tell you what I lost. By creating the same situation that my father created for me, I was distant and absent from my children, some of them. And my children who I conceived through my marriage, I was there for them. My children who were conceived outside before and during. Yeah. I had a son while I was dating. I had a son while was I married? Yeah, I believe I was married. Yeah. I was a horrible dude. Because of that, I've been able to repair with one of my sons, the one that I had while I was married. Okay, so let's get that right. The second is my 2 oldest children. Let me tell you how I lost. Now hear me out. Because I'm saying this because I have no problem being transparent. Because somebody, and I don't know who. I don't know what sister, and I don't know what dude needs to hear this. So listen to me. Because my 2 oldest feel the way they feel, and I'm not getting into if it's right or wrong. We're not doing that. I have not seen my grandchildren. I cannot force them to say, hey, Pop. I can't do that. So the collateral damage that I now deal with is, yes, I have made peace with my children. Yes, we talked. And yes, I've apologized and I've made offers. But if the offers fall on deaf ears, that's not on me. And I'm not blaming my children for that. Not at all. I'm not mad at them. I'm sad for the whole situation that I created. I own that. So I have to pray that at some point they decide, I want you to meet your grandfather before I go. Because here's something that I know to be true. The daughter that I told you that doesn't want to have anything to do with me, she will never be able to have enjoyed the love of her grandmother and great-grandmother because they're no longer here. Now, her mother didn't want to work with me. She's 24 years old, soon to be 25. And the whole time I was like, we should say something. And she was like, no, because she didn't want to face her husband, who I went to school with. So yeah, I was a dirty dude. I was. I knew her before they started talking, doesn't matter. Once that child was conceived, we should have said something, but she didn't. And people actually got at me and said, how come you never said nothing? I wasn't going to just rip open their life when I wasn't prepared to deal with all of that. And I know the mother wasn't prepared to deal. And of course, the husband wasn't going to be prepared. Why would I toss the daughter into that mix? Now, my two oldest children, they have kids. I've yet to see my grandchildren. There's been no offer to see my grandchildren. And I hold that. And I pray for them. And I want you to understand this. So please get a little closer and listen to me. When you live a foul life, I pray you turn it around, and you will, because I did. There's a price to pay. God says the wages of sin is death. Here's what he doesn't tell you. What type of death? Could be a social death. Could be a death of your finances. Could be a death of a relationship. Could be a death of many sorts. And then, of course, there's physical death. So now that I'm 54, I'll be 53. I'll be 54 in December, 53. Now that I'm 53, stable, in a loving union, being a good father to my daughter, I have to live with the fact that I cannot share this with my grandchildren. I cannot be pop-pop right now. And I'm okay. And the reason why I'm okay is because I understand that there's a wage to pay. The debt comes due. So fathers, listen to me. Every day you wait, there's a debt that has to be paid. Mothers, now let me say this to you. If he has tried to mend those fences, be in his children's lives, and you have prevented that because you have some pains that came from his behavior, I understand it, I respect it, but there's a debt you'll have to pay as well. Because if you are preventing a father from spending his time with his children, no matter what age, there's a debt to pay. And I'm going to tell you, as an individual, you don't want that smoke unless you're really prepared for it. It took me a lot of years, a lot of tears, a lot of pain to prepare for this smoke. It is what allows me to help people deal with it when they come to me. And the reason why I'm transparent, I wrote a book called From Gigolo to Jesus because I wanted to take my words, put them in a book. Now, let me let you in on a secret that a lot of people don't know. My wife knows. I also wrote the book because I wanted written proof of who I was and how I thought and how I felt. So if anything happened to me, my book would speak for me because I wanted people to understand I wasn't a whore that they thought I was. I wasn't the person that they thought I was. I was back then, and I've already apologized to my ex-wife. I was a horrible husband because I didn't know how to be a husband. I didn't know how to be a father. And if you go and watch the YouTube videos, and again, I'll probably put them on my Facebook page this weekend, excuse me. It's called the Old Head, Young Head series. I talked to all of my children, 6 of the 7. But if you listen to day number 5, 4, and 5, my two oldest children, you will see that the conversation is not exactly the same as my other kids. And that's okay because I was just happy that they said yes to have the conversation. But I did it live because I wanted to be transparent and I wanted you to see the man behind the words. I didn't just want to be a cat in a screen like this telling you what you may believe is scripted. Never is. I don't have any script. I just think about what I'm going to say and then I turn this camera on. But I wanted to put that message out because after DMX passed, I heard some real negative things about what people were saying about him and not understand that if he does have 11 children, which I believe he does, you're not thinking about what they're going through. But that smoke that he was getting as a negative individual, it is what it is. But my prayer was that his children can see past that smoke. My prayer for him and his family was that he was able to repair some of that before he passed at 50 years old. So I said, not being slightly older, only a couple of years, I said, you know what? Let me attempt to at least reach out to my children and publicly on video, again, so it can be saved, have a conversation. So if nothing else, they could go back and look and say, hey, my dad attempted. So fathers, please listen to me. I know some of you look forward to this weekend. I know some of you don't. I know some of you are going to just ignore the fact that you have children. I understand. It's easier that way, right? It's not. It'll eat at your soul because you know you created those children. You know that son or that daughter is out there. And let me tell you something. Being that child at one time and then becoming the very father that when I was a child was hoping that I get to see my dad, started to hate men because I couldn't see my dad, and it affected the way I lived my life. And me going out here and wilding out and sleeping with all these women was a product of not having a dad to be able to train me or talk to me and what I was supposed to do. So I was for the streets before that was a thing. And the streets basically told me, get as much as you can get from as many people as you can get it from, F how they feel. And I'm paying a price for that. The bill comes due. And mothers, if y'all was out there doing whatever, and you didn't have a real strong relationship with that man, and y'all had a baby, don't hate him. Work with him to fix it for the sake of your children. Swallow it and go, oh, I hate you, but no, my kids need you. And find a way to dispel that hate. Find a way to let that go. Because if he's no longer in your life, you have to find a way to be able to live with the idea that this man you had a child with. And y'all together have to help these children because they're going to grow into adults who have issues. I know. I'm working with them. I'm counseling them. I'm trying to help fix them. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old folks who don't realize it is the remnants of things done in their past. Yes, 65, 75-year-old men and women still living with the pain caused by their parents, caused by their fathers, caused by their mothers. So I don't know who needed to hear this today. I don't know who needed to see this today. What I know is that there's never a bad time to attempt to fix the relationship. And I want to end with this, and again, I got to be 100% transparent. Just because you're ready doesn't mean that they are. And you may have to live with that. You may have to live with the fact that your children may never forgive you. You hold that, you offer, you pray for them every night. And if you close your eyes, ask the Lord to forgive you. And if they don't open up and you're on the other side, you did the right thing. But you ask the Lord to forgive you, and you ask the Lord to ease their pain away. So that someday, maybe it's at your deathbed, that they can come and with tears in their eyes and just say, Dad, I forgive you. And if those are the last words you hear before you cross over, it's not the worst. Because again, as I said, the bill comes due. And yeah, you're going to see all the celebrations. Yeah, you're going to see it's happy fathers. All of a sudden, fathers are magically going to appear. The commercials for fathers are magically going to appear. You're going to hear all these tremendous stories of tremendous fathers. The NBA will, what did I learn from my father? And all that is needed. But what you won't hear and what you won't see is the echoes of the pain that many of the fathers have caused. What you won't see is the tears of a lot of people who this weekend just is horrible for them. Young men included. There are young men out there right now that are so hardened that the near mention of a father sends them into a very aggressive rage. There are young men out there right now who hate their father so much but are literally becoming him in what they do, myself included. I hated the idea of a father. So at 19, I would not have heard my father. We would have fought. But you know what's crazy? I end up being him without even knowing him. And there's an old adage that says the more we resist being our parents, the more we become them. And I just want you to understand that the veil that you're going to see this weekend is fantastic. Enjoy it. But know that on the other side of that coin, there's a lot of pain and a lot of trauma. So I don't know who needed to hear this. I pray that you've liked this. I pray that you shared this. I pray that the 3 fathers that you tagged, and again, tag 3 fathers that needed to hear this. Tag 3 mothers that need to hear from a real one. And if you need to speak to someone, if you want to set up time to talk to me, I would love to get on a call with you. I would love to be able to sit down and walk you through whatever pain, ladies especially. If you want to talk to a man, just to ask those questions, like how could a man lay with you, have a baby, then go lay with somebody else? Come talk to me. If you want to have that conversation of how could he just go out and start a whole new family and act like we not here? Come talk to me. Fathers, if you think you're ready, if you think you're ready, and if you think you're ready to start on that path, but you're not sure how to do it, reach out to me. And couples, I don't want to forget you either. If you're dealing with some baby mama drama, and the baby mama don't want to allow y'all to live in peace because she in pain, reach out to me. My wife and I put that to rest. I said I only have one child with my wife. So who do you think was helping me take care of the other 6? There's some very strong sisters out there who are dealing with children that are not their own. I'm going to shout you out too. And ladies, I know a lot of you are going to be tempted to do the happy mothers who do the father's role. Don't do that. Don't do that. You don't have to be acknowledged this weekend for what you do because it's a weekend dedicated to fathers. Don't do that. Don't be to those who do both roles. Don't do that. It just sows more confusion. You don't need to do that. Your children don't need to be exposed to that. Just know that you're doing right if you are. Just know that you are appreciated for being who you are as a mother. That's all. You don't need the extra accolades. It's just one day. And actually, I don't even celebrate the holidays, so I could care less. But don't try to make it something because of the role that you play. Your role is important. You don't have to take on that extra just to create drama. It's messy. And you're bigger than that. So no, don't say to the mothers out there being fathers, no, you're not a father. In no shape, no how. You're a parent who is either alone trying to do both roles, or you're a mother who is struggling to hold it together. You're not a father. That father is out there dealing with a whole lot. And I'm trying to bring him back into the fold to give the help that is needed. And even though it may make you feel a little bit better by putting that out there, it's actually detrimental because it doesn't help anybody. And the little bit of joy that you get from posting that is not worth the damage it can do. You don't need that. You're better than that. So I want to end with this. I'm going to look me right in the eye, fathers. Don't turn away. If you have children that you have not spoken to in more than 6 months, I'll give you grace 6 months. I'm about to say 3. If you have children that you have not spoken to in 6 months or more, now fathers, listen to me. If you have children that you have not spoken to in 6 months or more, I charge you to reach out. I don't care if they say F you, go to hell. I don't care. Reach out. And if you don't want to reach out to your children because you're worried or scared or nervous or don't want to deal with the mom, F you. Yes, I said it. Make the call anyway. Because you didn't have that issue when you was up in there having sex. So stop with them weak excuses. I don't care what she's been. She's going to be who she is. I'm talking to you, dads. Make the call. And if she don't pick up the phone, leave a voice message. First say hello. Give your name. They know it's you, but give your name. And the first thing I want to say is, hi. Hey, this is Keith. I'm calling because I want to say I'm sorry and I'd like to speak to you, and then insert your child's name here or children's name here. I know we've been through some things. Can I at least speak to the kids? I know I've been distant. Can I at least speak to the kids? I just want to start this process of trying to fix this. Can you help me with that? Take care. And hang up the phone. And if you don't ever get a call back, you wait a month, you do it again. I'm sorry. You wait 2 weeks, you do it again. And every 2 weeks on the 2 weeks, you make that same call until mom says, why you keep calling? Because I'm trying. And then own your dirt. Apologize for what you did to her. Even if she's a horrible mother. Listen, I know we don't get along. Can I at least talk to my children? And if the door slams forever, you did what you could. Because these are the things that we're supposed to think about before we impregnate somebody. But I'm going to have that conversation for another day. All right, guys, listen. I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, award-winning author, educator, father, man of God. I pray that this helped who has ever seen it, whenever you see this. I pray that it has moved you to do something, and I pray it gives you reason to set up having a talk. Let's talk. There is somebody out here in me who wants to help you, but here's what I know to be true. I cannot help what you do not let me know. Once you tell me, now I can get to work. Now I can help you. Because there's a price to pay for being quiet. So let's get together. Let's get on a call. Let's get this started. Why not add me to your list of things that you have that can help you? And if you don't have a list of things that can help you, well, let me be the first thing. And let's rebuild this together. Let's try to fix this together. Mothers, I'm here for you as well. If you're just not comfortable, if you're just unhappy, if you're just angry because what that man did to you and how he left you and these children, reach out, let's talk. Because as I said earlier, I can answer questions to why. I can't get inside somebody's head to know what their thinking was, but I can tell you what I see, what I know as a man, and what I know as a professional. And we can start to build a way to be able to heal you as also, and to heal those children. I spent 20 years in a New York City classroom. I got to meet 20, 30, 40,000 kids. I've seen it. I've seen the damage because now I see them. They're grown. Some of my students, 30, 32, 33. I see some of their struggles as parents. I see them in some of the same situations that their parents were in. It's not by accident. But again, that's another live for another day. Again, I am Keith K.L. Belvin, crisis specialist, award-winning author, and educator. And I want to say happy Father's Day to all the fathers, mothers. It's not your weekend. But I take my hat off to you as well. And I say continue to be the mothers that you are. And I wish you all, mothers and fathers, grace. And I pray that you'll grant those in your life grace. And if you don't know what grace is, hit me up and I'll explain it to you. Have a wonderful weekend, guys. God bless.